We encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. We encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Right? That's the thing. We got to get into
Brene Brown. Vulnerability is our most accurate measurement of courage. Vulnerability is our most accurate measurement of courage.
the mindset of, you know what, no matter how many times I'm going to get knocked down, I'm going to keep getting back up, right? There's so many of us in our daily life that we give up. We get knocked down a few times, we're like, man, I can't do it no more, I'm done. I quit. Just take me out the game, coach. White flag, I'm done. Surrender. Nah, we can't keep being in this mindset where the first thing that pops in our head is we gotta quit. Why do we gotta quit so easily? Why do we gotta quit so fast? It don't make sense to me. We shouldn't be over here trying to quit. We should be over here trying to do our best and do the things that we know that we can do. And we keep fighting on. If we fail, we get back up and we keep trying again until we succeed. Why? Because that's where growth is. That's where God wants us to be. God did not make us to be weak. God made us to be perseverant and to have endurance, to endure the hard times, to be able to grow and do amazing things. Why? Because that was God's plan for us. It was not for us just to be stagnant and to just vanish into oblivion and be nothing. He made us so we could be something, so we could glorify Him, and so we could be something. Why? Because that's the way He made us to be. Not to give up, not to throw away our dreams. He made us so we persevere, we fight through, we keep getting up, we keep doing the amazing things, right? We continue to fight, and we continue to do things, and we continue to fight on. We continue till we reach that goal, until we accomplish what we set out to accomplish. See, we are not going to give up. We're not going to stay on the ground. We're not just going to tuck our tail in between our legs and walk away. Nah, we going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting the way you're going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep fighting. We're all going to keep fighting. See, vulnerability, right, is very powerful. Vulnerability really just showcases a lot. A lot of people think when you're vulnerable.
Maya Angelou. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated.
Vulnerable, you're weak. But nah, vulnerability is strength. Vulnerability is courage. Vulnerability shows character, builds character, right? If you were like me or many others, maybe you felt like you were raised or you grew up a certain way where you weren't not allowed but weren't encouraged to be vulnerable. I'll be honest, there's a lot of us like that. A lot of people that are like, you know what? Never felt like I should be vulnerable when I was younger, right? Vulnerability is a weakness. Vulnerability, right? It's a mindset. People are like, nah, I can't be doing that. Nah, that's for the weak. Nah, why am I going to do that? Nah, come on. Vulnerability does a lot. It allows you to dig down deeper and to open yourself to others in a way that you thought you would never do. And it allows them to come into your inner self, into who you are a little bit more, just a little bit deeper, so they can understand you a little bit more. Vulnerability does a lot. But if you're too scared to be vulnerable, then you need to kind of evaluate what you're doing in your life, what you're allowing in your life, and how you are handling life. Because you know what, like I said, I was never vulnerable. I'm still learning. Slowly I'm getting a little bit better at it, but vulnerability is powerful. Vulnerability is powerful. You got to wear your heart on your sleeve. You gotta show people how you feel. Maybe not fully all the time, but you gotta start learning to be vulnerable. That's the powerful part. Once you're able to be vulnerable, then you can start seeing that change. Then you can start seeing that stuff that God's trying to reveal to you. He's going to bring you the right people. He's going to have them pour into you in a certain way, and you're going to start to see it once you start to become more vulnerable. That's the powerful part of it. Hopefully you could open up your mind and your heart to be just a little bit more vulnerable. So you can start late, look uncertain, be uncertain, look different, but you can still succeed. There's no play-by-play playbook, right? There's no guide. There's no...
Misty Copeland. You can start late, look different, be uncertain, and still succeed. You can start late, look different, be uncertain, and still succeed.
This is the only way to do it. You could be you and still succeed. That's the whole motto of us for Crayon Rock is be creative, be unique, be you, right? And you can still succeed. You can still succeed by being yourself. You do not need to be like other people. We live in a society where we see a picture, we see a video, we see people on social media. We're like, man, we gotta be just like them. But what's wrong with just being you? What's wrong with just being you? So that's the important part. Why do we always gotta be like everybody else when we could just be ourselves, right? When we could just be ourselves. We don't need to be like those other people. We don't need to be like any of them. We could just continue to be ourselves, continue to fight on, continue to be who God made us to be. And we will succeed. I promise you that you will succeed, but you got to believe in yourself as well. And don't allow the opinions and ideas of other people dictate or encourage you to sway one way or the other. You stay true to your values. You stay true to who you are. And I promise you, God will open those doors. God will allow you, will show you some new paths. Will show you some new ways. Will bless you in ways that you probably never thought you would be blessed in. See, you can still be yourself and succeed. You do not need to fall into the formula that everyone else has because everyone sees it. You're just going to be another copycat. You're just going to be another clone, just another copy and paste person. You don't want to be that. You want to be you. When they think, oh, no, what that dude, they stand out. There's something about them. It's just different. But still successful. Think about that. You can still be you and you could still be successful. You probably ain't ready to hear this one. Good judgment comes from experience, and in that experience comes a lot of bad judgment, right? You're not just going to be able to make good judgment over.
Will Rogers. Good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. Good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment.
Tonight, or just start having good judgment. You're gonna fail at times. You're gonna make some bad decisions. You're gonna make some bad judgment calls. You're gonna call things wrong. You are going to make some mistakes. Probably gonna fail. Probably gonna get in trouble. Probably, a lot of times you're gonna get in trouble. But the thing is, you want to start to make better judgment, you gotta experience, bro. You gotta experience, you gotta go through the trials and the tribulations, the obstacles, the different paths, interact with different people, be in different situations, and you will acquire the better judgment. But along the way, you are going to make some bad judgment. And even when you start making better judgment, doesn't mean you ain't gonna make no bad judgment. You still are. We're only human. This is only life, and nothing's going to be perfect. But know what? You will get there. You will start making better judgment. You will start making some better calls. But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen. It must happen with a snap of a finger. Nothing. Right? It's going to happen when you keep pushing on, when you keep Just putting it in practice when you keep just experiencing. That's the only thing about it. Where I made some bad judgment, I make some good judgment. I still make some bad judgment, and I still make some good judgment. No one's gonna be perfect. You're still gonna make some bad judgment, but know what? At least you could just be encouraged and just enjoy the good judgment that you do make and be proud of yourself, right? And when you make a bad judgment, learn from it. Let it be a lesson that you could learn from. And I promise you, it will benefit you. I promise you that. Just because I'm on a different path doesn't mean I'm lost. Right? Everyone's going to be running their own lane. Everyone's going to be on their own path. Some people may be lost. You never know that. But don't think just because someone's on a different path that they're lost.
Anonymous. Just because I'm on a different path doesn't mean I'm lost. Just because I'm on a different path doesn't mean I'm lost.
You don't know the journey that any of us are on. Some of us are in some of us are just in a different journey that, honestly, if you think about it, we're probably fighting our own demons. We're probably fighting our own issues. We're probably dealing with our own issues. We're probably trying to get somewhere where we need to be that you ain't trying to get to. Everyone's path, everyone's race is way different. So don't assume right away that somebody is lost just because they're on a different path. Maybe you on a path to find God, and maybe someone else is on a path to desire God a little bit more than they already do. That doesn't mean that you're lost at all, or that they're lost, or whatever. All it means is we're all on different paths. We're all on a different race. In a different race, we're all fighting our own things. We're all chasing something. We all have a different end goal. So it doesn't mean that we're lost, but everyone is in a different race. And maybe someone might be lost and they're trying to find their path. They're trying to find their way. And that's totally fine too. But don't assume that someone is lost just because they're on a different path. We're all on different paths because you know what? Every single one of our stories is different. God's writing each and every one of our stories, and every story is different. Nothing's going to be the same. So hopefully this encourages you in some type of way. Hopefully it brings some peace to you, some insight to you. And just stay running your race. Stay on your path. And don't worry about being lost. If you do get lost, search God and He'll bring you right back on. And without further ado, I'm going to have to bid y'all adieu. And without hesitation, you should subscribe too. And until next time.